It's Monday, the 8th of March. It's 11 o'clock. Thank you for joining us on Pink Salt Shed TV. I'm Kate Salter. Don't forget to hit the little subscribe button on the bottom right of your screen and hit the alarm bell for notifications. Super duper. Thank you. Right, today we're talking about fitness. It's quite a big subject, fitness, really, because it's not just the exercise that we do. So even though I've said it doesn't have to be complicated, there are more factors to it, of course, to consider. So if I say the word fitness to you, what is it that you visualize, and what does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? As an example, for me, if I see the word fitness and I feel it, I'm thinking, well, I don't do enough. What is it that I like? I've disappointed myself over the last year. Loads of people are doing more than me, and you know what, I feel a bit disappointed in myself, if I'm quite honest. And then if I visualize it, I'm probably visualizing somebody about 25 who hasn't had children, who goes to the gym 3 times a week, does a HIIT class, probably likes lettuce to eat, and is a teetotaler. So again, me and that word fitness don't go hand in hand. I find it all a bit of a struggle. Now, is it because I think I should just be able to go and do these things myself and see the changes? But then what are my goals? You know, it all can be a little bit confusing. But then if you speak to somebody about it, it can be broken down into sort of a little bit more manageable chunks. And what I mean by that is there are factors to consider, like age. We have our hormones, whether we're biologically male or female, we have hormones to consider, especially at different times of our life. We have metabolism, of course, what we consume, and how we digest what we consume, our metabolism. And if we have a hectic lifestyle, you know, we've got stresses and strains, how do we digest our foods? Also, whether we've got any intolerances, all of that jazz, you know, what is it that we can change to make sure the path that we go down is going to be the one that's good for us. But who knows what their goal is? Is their goal realistic? Is the goal achievable? And is the goal way, way, way out there from the starting point that we're at? And do we break it down into little milestones along the way? It's actually quite a really big subject. And if you think about it, it's not just the activity, it's all about food, and probably about our mental health as well. Because to set the scene properly, we have to be fit in mind and body. It's not just about exercise. So we've brought in Bebe. Everybody needs a Bebe, but there's not enough to go around. We can't stick her in our pocket. She's here to talk about her experiences with fitness, with the people that she has encountered, her clients, etc. Because Bebe is one of the fitness people that I have met who, I must say, is dedicated to our cause. So what it is we tell her, what it is we discuss with her about, and what it is we establish, if we're dedicated and committed, then Bebe is as dedicated and committed with us to make sure that what we've got in sights is where we'll be going. So here's Bebe. Let's introduce Bebe. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. So we had a few technical difficulties to start with. So
honestly, the first 5 minutes or the 5 minutes before we go live can just be a bit rubbish. In fact, my signal dropped out and we stopped going live. So then I had to go live again.
I did notice.
You know, yeah. Yeah, everyone probably noticed it, but you know, that's just real life, baby. Bebe, that's just real life.
Baby, call me baby. It's all good.
Yeah, baby. So thank you for joining us. Now let's chat. Oh, I'm just moving you a little bit on the screen. That was one of the things that we had to sort out. So when did you think that fitness was for you? Was it always that you were sporty at school, or have you just fallen into it because it's what you personally enjoy? So it's not really a job at all. Tell us a bit about you.
Okay, so at school I absolutely loved games and PE. It was my thing. You know, I wasn't necessarily an academic, but I shone when in the games, lessons, PE, if I did any after school clubs. I absolutely loved it. And it's always been in me. I didn't start training again actually until I was in my 30s. Yeah, that's when I actually started again. And I'm the grand old age of 40 this year. I turned. Oh my God.
It is young.
But yes, yeah. So that, so really it was only in my 30s. So anyone can start at any age, but the love has always been there. It's just
Yeah.
that I had a different lifestyle back then. I was a little bit more of a party animal in my 20s, and it's hard to mix the two,
Yeah.
and I was naturally slim. I was skinny, if anything. I used to dance the night away sometimes, and that was my form of exercise, I suppose, back then.
Actually, it's a good one.
Um, yeah, but exactly. And but I've always been quite an active person anyway. I just get up and go. I'm just one of those go-getters.
Yes.
Not always, but mostly. So yeah, it's always been in me, definitely. And I loved school. I was the fastest long distance runner at school. So
Very good.
and if Sam Wells is watching this, she was one of the other ones. So yeah.
Healthy
So
competition.
healthy competition. No, she was amazing. Yeah. So that. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, always been part of my life.
So when did you start becoming more professional with it and think, actually, I need to train in this and be able to offer something to the masses?
Absolutely. Okay, so when I was 30, I'd had the children, Monty and Bertie. I've got a daughter as well, but I had her when I was a lot younger. So when I had the boys, I did a charity run in aid of my granddad who died of cancer. So it was an amazing kind of feat, really, that I participated in this race. I got a really good time. I hardly did any training for it. Ran over the finish line. My pelvic floor was not on my side, put it that way, and I was just like,
Well, I hope it was
okay,
raining
sprint
as well
finish.
then.
Yeah, I was wearing black. It's all good. But and I was just like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so that was when I started. Then I joined a gym, and I did it on a Groupon voucher, and I just started training. I started really enjoying it. Then I took on a coach at Simply Gym, and I just went from there, and I just saw so many awful trainers in the industry back
Yeah.
then that I
Yeah.
viewed that had, they were sat on their phone texting or looking on Facebook while they're training people. They had no kind of love for that client. I'm lucky I've
Yes.
always had really good coaches, but I saw other people and I thought, do you know what, without sounding corny, I just wanted to help other people.
I
And I
understand that,
just,
yeah.
yeah, and I had such a kind of love and desire for it, which I still have. It's still here, and I absolutely love what I do.
You see, now I mean, that's the perfect job for you then, because you've trained in it, you've qualified in it to be able to help other people. I think in this industry, well, in many industries, you're a giver or a taker, and I think you fall under the category of giver. I think, like me, in various other ways, it's all about
Mm,
what does somebody else want. And
yeah.
the fact that you have started to work with people, you've been doing it for years now, but you work with people, gives me great faith in you as somebody who looks at someone and everything that I talked about initially. So when I was talking about the things that everybody's got to consider, actually, I think
Yeah.
BB considers all of those things. So you consider all of those things for us to help us on that journey, to make sure that at the age of me, 46, well, I might want to look like a 25-year-old, but come on, Kate. Have some expectations, but make sure they're realistic ones. So you have
You
kept.
could, you could if you
Oh,
honestly
oh, God's sake, right, okay, yes, starting
behave
point,
yourself.
honey. Yeah,
Behave yourself. Like,
well,
if you look at the generation nowadays, especially, there is kind of, especially with the younger generation, there is definitely an issue with, their diet and their health.
yes,
They're starting to get into it. There is more of a kind of now an Instagram model, going
yeah,
forward. So they want to kind of aspire to be like that, which is a strong, powerful woman. Whereas back in the day, that wasn't the case necessarily. It's like, skinny, heroin chic, that skinny kind of real
yes, okay.
skinny look.
The
Whereas
green
now it's about
goddess.
being, yeah, now it's about, strong, powerful women, and and looking at and having muscle and actually
Hmm.
being quite confident with that muscle. But if that is not your body type, then it's whatever, shape you are. It's about, working with what you've got, to be
Yes,
honest with
so
you.
the starting point is really important. Where you want to
Absolutely.
go, you've got to look at all of the other factors that just,
Yeah.
I mean, if I was to want to be stick thin, well, you've only got to look at the generations in my family to know that that's probably not going to happen because no one has
Yeah.
been stick thin. And then,
Absolutely.
of course,
Yeah.
I do enjoy, I'm a real foodie, so I enjoy food and I do enjoy glasses of wine, so it's all of
Which
that
is
to
fine.
take into
Yes.
account. It is fine, it's fine, but moderation.
It,
Um,
that's it. Yeah. Moderation. Yeah.
So when you meet someone and they say, Bebe, I don't quite know how to tackle this, you obviously go through a consultation process, which is another thing that instills me with great trust in someone, is that not one thing that you do will fit everybody, because
No,
actually how their body moves is going to be different as well. So you've got to write a program for them with all the factors included that we've spoken about, and actually how their body might move is a bit different. How do you adapt to someone's needs?
absolutely. So obviously you speak with the person first and you kind of get an idea of what they want, because everyone's idea of what they want from you is different. Okay.
Yeah.
So, some people want you to really push them, and and other people actually just want you there as a friend to guide them,
Yeah.
and and everyone's different. I've got so many different clients that, I'm just literally stood there counting reps. And then there's other clients where, that isn't, I'm doing it with them. Everyone is different. So you have to work out what their needs are, firstly. Then also work out, what they need. So what I do a mobility drill with everyone, every exercise, any, if it's a PT, if it's a class, whatever, we do a mobility drill. I'm straight away obsessing people when they're doing that, so I'm looking at them going, okay, they've got shoulder mobility issues, they've got hip mobility issues. Okay, they're internally rotating, overpronating, all these different things.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, straight away, I know what to do. So I'm like, the Terminator, scanning without
Actually,
judging.
yes, the eyes.
Like, and it's like, how do you know that? How do you know? And it's just, I just know, and that's experience. That comes with experience over time. Yeah, so that's what I do. And also, if I look at them and think you need a physio, or I ask them, please get, a physio. Go and see a physio, go and see a specialist. Like we, as personal trainers, we're trainers, we're not physios. We can give people the mobility kind of exercises, which I do, but I do, and half the time when they go to physio, I'm like, that's what you told me to do anyway, Bebe. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I just feel that they need that extra, because there might be something that I've missed.
And actually, if you think about it, your starting point, if your body's not quite in alignment to start with,
Absolutely.
then you're going to be training and then maybe overcompensating in another way, that it's actually stacking up to, well, not working out properly, and you might get injuries, and it has a knock-on effect. Is that right? Do people experience that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why, you have to do the basics with someone, and I think that's the only downside to online classes and people going straight into a gym environment, is that, they're watching these videos and their body might not quite move the same, and that's the issue. Or people are doing jumping lunges, but they've got knee niggles, or they're doing squat jumps and they're internally rotating, their knees are dropping in. So it's a massive thing and a massive issue, and then they're going to injure themselves. Most people, they struggle with like protraction, retraction of the shoulder, which is coming back. They pull up and it's like, they're using their trap instead of their lat. So shoulders down, but also educating somebody. I'm all official then with my pencil.
Yeah, where are your glasses? Yeah.
Where are my glasses? I need some glasses. I need those blue tinted ones. Yeah, so, and it's just educating them and making sure that I'm giving them this mobility drill, that when they train by themselves, they're confident, and at the end of a training session, it's so important to, cool down and do them, the stretching at the end, so everyone's got their own style. Mine is mobilizing, stability, mobility at the start, and then into the session, rather than bang straight into it, because that's when you're going to injure yourself. From my perspective, think about it. Yeah.
And one thing that a lot of people might enter, I mean, this is whether you are experienced in fitness exercise, or this is whether you're venturing out, so starting your journey. But I think one thing that's quite important is that who knows what exercises they like to do? Who wants to be pushed to that limit where it actually can start to hurt? And even if after a couple of days, you're really aching, it doesn't mean that, there are some not great trainers out there. You can tell somebody to do this, that, and the other, and actually they might ache, but is it actually doing what they need to do to meet their goals? But there's people that, if you try and do as many exercises with them as possible, you're then establishing what they like to do. Is that part of it? Because if if they're not doing something they like, then are they going to be motivated to carry on? Is it a bit of a balance?
Absolutely. So sometimes, obviously, the things they don't like are beneficial for them going forward.
Yeah.
Always, it's without a shadow of a doubt. But I think, you need to chuck in a couple of extra ones that they aren't that keen on at times. But, it is about doing things they enjoy at the same time. But you do need to take somebody out of their comfort zone, but it's knowing when to do it, when to
Yes.
push.
Okay.
Like, the first session, you should not be pushing someone. I see people, trainers, like banging, like completely pushing someone. Well, they can't walk then, they can't walk for a
Yes.
week, they've got
And then they can't train. So it's
they can't train. So, there's no point. You need to kind of like listen to one's body and over time then progress. But also going back to what you said at the start, it's like it depends where you are in your cycle. If you're at your fertile stage being a woman, then you are going to be able to train so much harder. You've got so much energy. It's those sessions where you go into the gym and you're like, oh my gosh, I could just keep going. I felt amazing. I felt incredible. And then you get the other sessions when, like, just before you period, or once you finish it, especially, where you're just dead. There's nothing in the tank. And that's when you need to listen to your body and like take it back a level and not be hard on yourself. And I think that's true. When you're programming, especially for a woman, that's the thing. It doesn't work as well, because actually these people who want to chase the weight, they're going to feel downhearted when they get onto like week 4 and they can't, there's nothing in the tank, so they need to be made aware of these not issues, but these factors, because that way they can progress and they won't feel downhearted. And it's just that little bit extra each time. Even if you're not feeling 100%, you go into the gym, you do something that you actually enjoy. So say if you're going back to training, and you haven't been in the gym for, and I know we'll probably touch on this, but you haven't been in the gym for ages, because obviously they've been closed, or you haven't been trained, go in and do something you enjoy. There is no point in giving yourself an hour-long session of a brutal workout which you're not going to enjoy. There's no point. You trick yourself. You think, okay, it's to trick your brain and just like, oh, actually, I'm going to go in there because actually I really like doing bridges, or I like doing squats, I like doing burpees. Very rare amount of people might say that, but
I don't.
And I actually love them now. Only because I'm okay.
That's because you're you.
They're just because I'm good at them now, whereas I used to be awful.
Okay, yes, okay, this is true. Yeah, practice makes perfect. Yes.
Exactly. So and it's going into the gym and not putting pressure on yourself, just doing it. Maybe you've got a little idea of what you're doing, but put some decent tunes in your ears, put some really good beats in, and just go and enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Don't compare yourself to where you were, because you're not going to be back there just yet. But within a month you will be. Like you have muscle memory, you'll look amazing again. And you'll get that love again.
Yes. So the people that haven't done anything during lockdown for various reasons, don't beat yourself up about it. Start off more gently, and before you know it, you'll be at the same level as where you were. Of course, there are people that will have been going at it. It's like you said, actually, the other day, you're at the fittest that you've ever been. And that's because you've been doing so many sessions online and yourself that it's like you're just physically fitter than you have been before. So other people will be. So those that haven't been, don't go in to the rooms and then start comparing yourself to everybody. You're on your own journey, and maybe with you reevaluate where they are and just rein it in a little bit and set up a time frame for when they will be back at it. Yeah,
absolutely. But what I have noticed is from the last lockdown, when people came back, is actually the first session was a little bit harder, but actually coming, second, they aren't back to where they were originally. Okay, when they first ever started, they're not back there, but it is hard the first session back. But it is just that initial, do you know what? I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to do it without any of the excuses. You know what it's like. You get to the gym. I'm guilty of this. I have turned up at the gym, forgot my headphones, and I've actually gotten to buy some more actually from Curry's or somewhere, because I'm like, I cannot go in there. Or I'm pulled up and I'm like, I like to go. I'm in my little zone. I'm in my little bubble. I'm the most friendliest person, but when I'm training, don't talk to me.
It's like hand up.
In my zone. Be enough. I'm in my zone. Because otherwise it wrecks my flow. but just kind of, put things in place. Make sure you've eaten adequate food that day, that you've got the strength, you feel good, you've got some good tunes in your ears,
Hmm.
and you do something you enjoy and that you absolutely love. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of people, whether they're new to this or whether they're getting back into it, diet and exercise go hand in hand. It's what you consume and then it's what you burn, and it's making sure there's a deficit. But a lot of people, I can imagine, and me included, that when you think you're going to endeavour, you're going to start some fitness regime, you then decide to drop your calories because fitness and calorie consumption, you don't want to, you want to lose weight, or, well, if you're going at a HIIT class, you might gain muscle, so you change shape. But you need to be fueling your body to give you enough energy to actually put one foot in front of the other one. So is that something you have to educate people in quite a lot?
Oh yeah, because the problem is that is the issue, that people, they think that they're basically, they drop the calories, they come and do a HIIT class, they come and do all these classes, they have no energy, so they're not actually
Yes.
giving it 110%, and they're then struggling, and they wonder because they've dropped their carbs, so they're on low carbs, and there's no fuel in the tank, and it is about, I mean, obviously, if you want to drop weight quickly, then you can go in a calorie deficit and do some training, great, but you're not going to get, it depends what your goals are. If you want to just lose
Yes.
weight, then,
Yeah.
but if you actually want to grow, build some muscle mass, and have a sustainable kind of healthy lifestyle,
Hmm.
and relationship with food, then you
Yes.
should just carry on, like, just have your kind of like your what do you call it, the T, yeah, sorry, T, was it TDE? Like, so basically your total daily expenditure, you need to kind of
Uh-huh.
like find out what that is. And there's loads of apps out there which will help you find that out. So,
Yes.
and then basically, you want to be there and a little bit above, especially if your goal is to build a bit of muscle mass.
Hmm.
You don't want to be in a complete calorie deficit from my perspective. Yes, if you want to lose weight, you go in a calorie deficit. But if you actually want to build up a little bit of muscle mass, you
Yes.
need to just think, okay, I'm adding this extra, this fitness, this training is on top. Yeah. So
Yes.
just keep at a base level, so, and then, count the exercise, as you losing weight from that way. I know other people say otherwise, but I think just you need to have a good relationship with food. The thing is, the more you train, the more you want to eat as well. There
Well,
is that
actually,
element.
well, it
You're
does
just
make you
starving.
hungry. It does make you hungry. Do you train? Do you eat before you train, or do you
No,
eat? No. See, I
no,
can't eat either, but beforehand. But a lot of
no.
people like to just
So
eat something.
no, so for example, this morning I did a HIIT class. So I've done a HIIT class. I don't eat before HIIT.
Yeah.
Um, I have a coffee though, a
Hmm.
couple of a coffee beforehand, and then I have like electrolytes and stuff in the drink,
Okay.
BCAAs and stuff. BCAAs are a bit pointless, but I just like the taste. Anyway,
There you
so
go.
there we go.
Why not?
But yeah, and then I have a break, and then I'll eat. So I eat like
Okay.
an orange and apple, and something lightish. Well, I don't know, something.
Okay.
Then I eat a lot later on. So I do consume a heck of a lot of calories in a day. Um, I eat a lot, and
Lucky
I
you.
don't I don't starve myself.
No.
I can't starve myself. I need to fuel my body properly.
Yes.
So when I eat, I need to consume foods to give me energy, to make me feel amazing, to make me feel good.
Well,
Otherwise,
brain
I'm just going to
function
be
as well.
crash.
Yeah,
So important.
mentally you need the calories to keep your brain function going along, keep you focused, keep you motivated. It's not just physically that we need, to move. It's actually all the functions of all the organs of our body we
Yeah,
need that fuel for. Another
absolutely.
another thing
Can I
that,
just
and
say, yeah,
yeah,
can I just say one thing about that? Sorry.
sure.
So if it's in the morning, I mean, I eat not relatively late at night, so I've got enough energy in me
Uh-huh.
to do that HIIT session in the morning, and also it's what I'm used to. If you are training in the afternoon or evening, you do need to have, your meals in the morning.
Yes.
It's really important to do that, to have the energy. And also you need to think, so say if I'm doing a HIIT class in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm making sure that I'm fueling myself the night before. So I'm making sure I've got
Okay.
enough calories in me. So that's what's going to give me the energy that next morning. You know,
Yes.
not like a, you know, a little bit before I train. For me, you know, I'm making sure that I'm eating nutritionally dense food. I want a little bit of treats like my pizzas and my burgers, which I do eat. So, and
Well, you know, there is more to life than just a lettuce leaf. Now, I know we don't all eat lettuce leaves, but there are some people out there that just think that that is probably what weight loss means, not eating. And I think, and also my point about the goals people have and how they get there. There are so many false promises out there from fitness coaches or trainers out there, and it concerns me that a lot of people are signing up for the quick fix. They're signing up for the ballerina legs, they're signing up to drop a dress size, and basically what I think they're signing up for is to listen to somebody who doesn't actually have a healthy goal for them in sight and doesn't have their health and their fitness, so their overall health and fitness in sight. And is that something you come across? Do people come to you and say, well, I've been told to do this and this, and it's not working and I feel lousy? What is it that I'm doing wrong?
I think most people have a basic understanding, and they do realise, if I'm honest with you, that most people I come across are pretty educated in this field, and they do realise that actually they need to make sure that the diet is in place, okay, and that they, to achieve these, you know, these goals, they need to, you know, you would get ballerina legs if you had ballerina legs originally, and that, you know, you did a, you know, and that you went on a little bit of a, you know, did some exercise, you manage your diet, and then within 4 weeks you'd have some resemblance of it, because you've got that, you know, you can't suddenly kind of suddenly change. But unless you're doing a lot of training, you've got to look where the starting point and what, because for example, the other week I was really bloated. I mean, my stomach was massive. Within 4 days, I had my six-pack back, and I could pretend that I'm selling some product, and actually my training has made me look so amazing in such a short amount of time, you know. And the thing is, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't sell so many false promises. And the thing is, it's most people who want to be really pushed actually need to knock it back a level. Yeah, they need to work on their form, and you need to manage their expectations and say, look, actually, you need to knock it back a level first to then go forward, because that's so important.
It's like laying the really foundations. Important. Yeah, absolutely. You don't run before you can walk, type of thing.
No, exactly. But you know, if somebody, say for example, all my girls and some of the guys who came out of lockdown, I mean, they were like the fittest they've ever been, and you know, when they went back into normal classes, they were just of another level. And that wasn't being elitist or anything. It was just the way they were, and it was a really good confidence boost for them to go, oh my gosh, actually, I thought I was like not very good, but actually, you know, I can't believe
when they get back
the
to
level.
it.
Yeah,
well,
and
men,
the level
is it right? Is it right that men have got a better muscle memory than a woman?
Well, yeah, supposedly, yeah.
Great.
No, but the thing is, men hold more muscle mass than women. So actually, in actual fact, it's not necessarily they have that. It's that they can drop the fat easier. You know, they burn more calories anyway in a day. So that's what it's to do with more. So they can shift and change quite a lot quicker than a woman.
In so many ways.
Them. I know, exactly. But you know, I just think that you need to remember what your goals are, making sure that they're realistic goals. And actually just change the way you think and your mindset, and how you view training, how you view your diet, and how you view yourself. The most important thing is not being detrimental about yourself. The amount of women and some men who are so detrimental and self-deprecating is just like another level. And I hate that, because it's so, I don't usually say hate, but it's so sad to see how people just run themselves down all the time. And you know, it's about, you know, we can all be guilty of it. You know, you look in the mirror, go, God, I look a bit bigger today, you know, and you kind of go, oh, like, have a word with yourself. In actual fact, actually, I need to think, you know, I'm 40, you know, I've got a six-pack, not that matters, but you know, I'm quite lucky to have that, you know, and I've got, you know, a little bit of cellulite on my bum, and I've got cellulite on my bum now, and a few stretch marks still.
Well, I'm glad you have. Want to see it?
I'm not going to get it out right now. But you know, the thing is that we've all got imperfections. We do. But focus on the positives. It's so important to kind of, you know, because the more that you hammering and you kind of feel bad about yourself and you've been self-deprecating, the more you're going to press that self-destruct button. The more
Well,
that
it's
you're actually going
true.
to, you
Yeah.
know,
And the more
yeah,
you get despondent about it, the more you analyse
absolutely.
when you do some sport fitness that, you know, it's either working or it's not working. You can be really, you know, we are our own harshest
Mm,
critic, I think.
absolutely.
But
Oh
it's
my
also
gosh, yeah.
about what you feel. It's not just the number on the scale, it's whether your clothes fit you a bit more loosely and all of those sorts of things. There's lots of other different indicators that we can
Oh,
be
absolutely.
reading rather than just the number on the scale. So, with people going back to fitness, then, if they've had a bit of a break, or even if they haven't had a break, what would you say to them?
Yeah.
Because gyms are going to be starting to open again soon. It's not necessarily going to be all be online. People will be joining each other in classes, and it will all become a bit more sociable again. Sort of, what are the motivators you can give people for stepping back in the room and being sociable if they're a little bit
I,
unsure?
Yeah, a bit anxious. Yeah, absolutely. I think if I'm honest with you, the first time you come back into gym, you are going to feel a little bit awkward. It's all a bit new again, and especially in a group situation. You know, I
Yeah.
noticed it coming out of the last lockdown. You know, people were a bit apprehensive. Hopefully, it'll be better this time because they know the format. But they were like, "What do I
Yes.
do? Where do I stand? What am I allowed to get close? Am I not?" You know, and you're suddenly outside, and it's like I remember the first time going back, and it was on the football pitch, and there was like 6 people who've been inside a tiny little room training. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, you're on a football pitch, and it was so
Yeah.
open, and everybody felt a bit, and even I did. It was just like, oh, they're real people in front of me. Oh,
Yes.
and it was a bit weird, and but and then that obviously changed, and we were allowed back in the studio again and stuff like that. But even that comes with its kind of fear. Like people do have this kind of fear. But you know what? You just have to make people feel welcome, and like I say, just try and enjoy the process. Like I said at the start about making sure that you put things in place so you feel comfortable. Hide in a corner if you want to. Just find a little corner, take your mat, just be you in the corner,
Yeah.
music on, put a chav cap on,
Yeah,
and
wear a baggy top if you want to wear a baggy top. Because to be honest, most people
yeah.
aren't looking at you anyway. They're just checking themselves out in the mirror or
The
wondering what
narcissist,
they look like.
the narcissist, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But the other thing to bear in mind as well is kind of, if you are unsure about training, it is about picking a personal trainer that suits you. And I'm not trying to sell myself at all, but just generally, you need to pick a trainer that you respect, that
Yes.
has your ethos,
Yes.
and that that you're going to have a really good rapport with. And especially if you're new to training, just full stop. Like I said earlier, you're never too late, but you need to think, okay, actually, I need to work on my form, because I feel a bit self-conscious. When I first went into it myself, I felt self-conscious because I thought everyone's looking at my form. Is it rubbish? Because I was like naturally slim with a little bit of arm muscle anyway, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Hence why I got a coach. But it's really important to make sure that you've got those building blocks. Or if you're at home and you're training in a Zoom class, use a mirror. I know it's horrible sometimes when you think, oh my God, but it's so important because then you can check your form and make sure that you're in the right alignment, that what the person online is telling you you're adhering to, and you're going, oh yeah, my knees are coming in. Oh, I will push them out,
Yeah,
or
having
whatever it
things
is.
pointed out to you. Yeah, so don't be afraid of your coach giving you pointers of what it is you should
Yeah,
be doing, because it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means that there's a
yeah,
better way for you to do it, to get out of it what
absolutely.
it is that you want to. It's like you were talking to me the other day about I think it was squats. So if your
Yeah,
feet are more in line and they're a little bit more narrow together, you're working your quads more.
more.
But
Yeah.
if your feet are out slightly, you're working your glutes a bit more.
Small, yeah, and
Yeah,
further
so
apart. Absolutely.
yeah,
So it's
so
a more
you
glute
can
dominant
look.
exercise.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you can look at
absolutely.
somebody doing a squat and it's like, well, they're doing it differently to me. It's like, yes, I know, but their goal is different to yours. So don't,
Absolutely. Yeah.
just chill out a little bit about what other people are doing and how they're doing it. Stick to
Well,
how it
this
is
is
that
it.
you've been told.
Well, this is it, and that's what you'll notice. So and I was guilty of it, especially when I first was in the industry, and I'd look at other people's exercise and that's wrong. Why are they doing it like this? Because I've been taught by some I was really really lucky that I had some amazing coaches and mentorship programs when I
Yeah.
first started. So it was incredible. But the thing is, they all teach you like the correct form, and which is brilliant, but there's different muscles that you might be trying to hit, or somebody
Yes.
might be, you know, doing a reverse fly and they're coming back a bit far, but actually they want to target the rhomboids and the lower traps more, you know, rather than the rear delt. So,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, and different things, or you know, they want to be a bit more upper trap dominant, which most people don't unless they're male. But you know what I mean? It's like everyone's got
Yes,
kind of
that
a
muscle,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the one that everyone overuses with everything, and they shouldn't.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
relax your shoulders. Relax your shoulders.
relax, relax. And I'm
Yes.
leant forward a little bit. Um, so you know, and it is about yeah, not comparing yourself to what other people are doing. But if you do think, okay, what are they doing? That's interesting. You know, it's like, you know, maybe give it a go. Like just try it. You know, see how it feels. I mean, when you're training, if something doesn't feel right, don't do it. As simple
Mm-hmm.
as that. Say if you're doing jumping squats and your knees are niggling, don't do it. Like
Yes.
you know, or you're doing a bent over row and your lower back's niggly. Like don't do it. You know,
Yeah.
there's a reason. You know, your body's telling you like, no, stop it. Okay. So then you've got to look at why is my lower back hurting? Is it because that I'm hunched over? Is it because my
Mm-hmm.
shoulders are internally rotating? Is it because my core's not on? You know, so you need to look at different factors. Or is
Yeah.
it the alignment? You know, am I not bent over enough? So, you know, there's so many different things. But like I say, just listen to your body. If it doesn't feel right, do not do it. That's
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing. Yeah,
I think
definitely.
you're right, and I think people embarking on this, going back to it or starting it afresh, have just got to listen to their bodies as well. So it's, you know, we've all got our self awareness. We are the best person to judge what it is that we can do, and how far we can take it. I used to be somebody that used to think, well, you know what, I can do it myself. I don't need to pay anybody to do this for me. I can just go out and do this, do that. But I've got an awareness of, I mean, I've run a couple of half marathons. I've done quite a lot of running. I've been to gyms, and I've got quite a lot of food awareness. So I suppose I'm not too bad in that respect. But people that are embarking and that are quite fresh to it all, they might have a little bit of knowledge about this and this, but how to bring it all together is where you step in. So they might have been on a journey, but now they want to restart, or they're starting completely from fresh. There's no harm in asking you. There's no harm in just wanting a bit of your time to say, Bebe, can you write something for me? Can you do something for me? And then I'm going to go off and do it for 10 weeks, and then we can revisit it. That's still a good way of doing it. Not that they've got to be
Yeah.
with you 3 times a week to hit their goal. They can still go off and do it themselves.
Absolutely. And, you know, they have that program to follow and adhere to, or like I do, I give people videos to follow.
Yeah.
So I'm actually, you know, I'm with them doing it, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
they're watching it back. You know, I had a lady come to me a couple of weeks ago and she was like, right, this is my budget. And I
Mm-hmm.
really liked her for that. She's like, this is my budget. What can we do with this? So I
Yeah.
did a consultation and we then did a session. And actually, she needs personal training to start with. That's where her budget would go. And then
Mm-hmm.
going forward, it would be like she'll have some classes that I send her. And also, she's got some homework and she's got some videos to do. So she's got PTing and she's got videos that are pre-recorded ones that I've done.
Great.
And then she'll have ones for herself. So it's really important to have that as well. And there's one of my ladies who's probably watching, you know, it's just that
Good.
I'm getting her to walk more, you know, walk, like you can
Yes.
just get outside and walk, you know, it's so important. Just those a little bit extras all the time, but don't walk with Mirandering along, you know, walk with meaning, walk like you're neurotic,
Yeah, with the
you know,
destination in
squeeze,
mind.
whew,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
really
Don't.
squeeze the glutes, clench the glutes,
Yes.
clench glutes, you know, tits and teeth, as I say.
Yes. Yes.
But you know, and it's just like, you know, really kind of focus on that walk with meaning, because otherwise there's
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, you're not going to lose weight walking. If you know, you need to be a little bit out of breath, you know, do some
Yes.
walk up the hill, you know, even if it's for an hour, and it makes you feel amazing. You know, you put your
It does
headphones on.
actually. Yeah, the fresh
It,
air, just being outdoors, the
oh,
fresh air is fabulous. And with it getting a little bit nicer at the moment, you can smell the grass, you can smell the flowers coming out. In fact, I think I've even started to get hay fever myself just because of it.
I'm a bit
But
slippy, I know.
yes,
But don't do too much too soon. That's the other thing as well.
yeah.
So, for example, you know, going out, say if you go, right, that's it, I'm going to be a runner. I'm going to start running, like you did the other week.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, and then the problem is you go out for a run you get and you're like, right, I've got this. Then the next day you're like, what, should I go again? Your whole body doesn't move properly, you know.
No, there is
And then you go,
resistance, yes.
and you know, and you just gotta do a little enough to start with, because otherwise you'll get shin splints. You know, you'll have knee niggles. So you just need to take your time. Don't go all out in the first week, because all you'll do is get burnout, and then you won't bother. You won't want to train.
It's exactly that. I mean, I did 3 runs the other week, and then I haven't done any since, because, well, part of me just doesn't make enough time, and everything else just seems to just manage to get in the way. But I think I went at it a bit too quickly. So it's just rein it in. Just do it, you know, just do a couple of 10 minutes the one week, and then a couple of 10 minutes or 20 minutes the next week. It is just a lot of it is common sense, isn't it? And just listening to our bodies. Oh,
yeah,
Bebe.
and making sure, especially with regards, even if you go for a walk though, I do find that that's what tightens my hips up. You know, that's where I feel like, so you do need to make sure that you are stretching as well. Even
This is
with
very
walking,
true,
even
yes.
before, you know,
Yes.
I personally, I know some people aren't into stretching, but I personally feel, especially, I wouldn't be able to function, you know, if I didn't do the mobility stability work I do on myself. Can you imagine, you know, doing all the classes I do a week, I'd be injured, you know. So for me, it
Stretching's really
works.
important. Look after
Yeah,
those muscles. Right,
exactly.
Bebe, thank
Yeah.
you so much. I don't want to take up much more of your time. We're going on, and we could talk about this forever. I mean, this isn't just, you know, this subject isn't finite. We could talk about this for a little while, thinking about new things and talking about them. What I will say to everybody is, if you want to email Bebe and be in touch with her, then do. Her email address is bb@bb.fitness. Really easy one. All right, so email her directly for hints and tips of advice, or just as a little bit of knowing where to go. It's simple as that. Bebe, have you got a website? I think something's changing with your website. Is that
Goodness.
right? So don't do that route. Yeah.
Don't do that route. Yeah, basically, my website decided to send spam to people like about a year ago, and now I'm trying to get it back working.
Beautiful.
So if you, it's brilliant. So if you go on to BB Fitness Coach, which is on Instagram, I'm on there. That's the main place. The Facebook, I don't usually use the Facebook. I'm usually on Instagram.
You're visual.
Stories.
Yeah.
Visual. I'm on there.
Honestly,
that's my place to go.
Yeah, look at her Instagram. She'll make you feel puffed out even doing it. In fact, there's some fantastic pictures of Bebe whilst on holiday doing lots of fitness.
Gotcha.
Would you? A lot of people do.
That's the first time I've worn shorts. And do you know what? That's the first time since I was in my late teens that I've worn shorts. Like last year was the first time that I felt body confident enough and actually accepting of myself to wear shorts and actually do that. And it was an amazing feeling. It really was.
Even you, who have got the body that people would just like kill for, although it comes with effort, I have to say. You know, even I've worn shorts, and I'm you know, I'm a bit like, really, love. I wouldn't go out in them necessarily, but you know, the fact that you haven't worn shorts for years because you just weren't a little bit sure. Bonkers.
Well, I'd wear them with tights, but you know, we've all got imperfection. But just to feel that accepting is one, you know, accepting of one's body and actually going, yeah, I've still got a little bit, so I've still got a few imperfections, but actually, you know what, I'm all right. I'm this is me. Yes. Take me on easy. Yes. And I think it's a really strong position to be in, and mentally, because it is like you said before, the mental more than any, you know, and that was a good feeling. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, well, anybody who wants to check out Bebe's Instagram, it's Bebe Fitness Coach, that's right. And actually, there's quite a few little clips of exercises that Bebe does. So they're great for demonstrations of what it is that you can be doing. All right, and then, of course, be in touch via that way. There's a little messaging thing you can do via Instagram, or bb@bb.fitness for her email address. Bebe, we will let you go. Thank you so much for being here. I'll probably be in touch with you to say, right, it's Monday, it's a new week, everything's starting again, kids go back to school, I have some more time. Write me a programme. Oh, thank you. Have a great rest of your day. All right, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you for having me. I've really loved it. You take care. Bye-bye. See ya. Bye.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, there's so much to take in. It's a massive subject, but broken down into smaller little bite-sized chunks. We can all get somewhere with it, whether you're new to it, whether you're an old-timer to it, or whether you just dabble in and out. I'm a bit of an all or nothing, so at the moment I'm a bit of a nothing. But I'm going to get back into it. Email me, kate@pinksaltshed.com, because if you want a gym buddy, or if you want to get together and do something, or have somebody to actually do some of these things with, let me know, because I'm up for a bit of a challenge. All right, and we could actually be in touch with Bebe and see what it is that she could do for us with the goals that we might have in sight. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today. Please, like I say, subscribe to the show, Pink Salt Shed TV, and hit the notification bell for notifications. And we'll be seeing you on Friday. There'll be a little interim week trailer, midweek trailer for our Friday show on Wednesday, and that's all going to be about homes, what we're doing in the home, and making what we do sustainable. Keeping what we buy British, and we'll be joining somebody that manufactures British goods, sustainably sourced goods and reclaimed goods and all of that kind of thing for our homes. So yeah, do join us then. All right, but for now, enjoy the rest of your week and we'll see you soon. Thank you.